Researchers are calling it a very real threat. Suicide rates among young people reaching a 20-year high in 2017. Meredith Wood takes a closer look at the new study.
The findings of new research show an alarming trend. In 2017, suicide rates among 15 to 24-year-olds across the U.S. was at its highest point since 2000, especially among young men between 15 and 19. Research published in the medical journal JAMA used data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's underlying cause of death database. In 2000, the rate of suicide among teens 15 to 19 was 8 per 100,000 people. By 2017, the rate jumped to 17 per 100,000. An increase was also seen among 20 to 24-year-olds over the same time period. In 2000, the suicide rate was 12.5 per 100,000 people. By 2017, it was 17 out of 100,000. But mental health experts say they aren't surprised by the surge. The chief psychologist for Grady Hospital in Atlanta says a number of things contributed to the spike, including an increase in anxiety and depression among young people. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Last season's flu shot seems to have been a dud. In a report released today, the CDC says the overall effectiveness of the vaccine was only 29%. That's one of the lowest levels in recent years. Health officials say it worked well in the beginning of flu season and was still 47% effective in February, but it was no match for the second strain that emerged towards the end and was only 9% effective then. Even still, officials still urge everyone over the age of 6 months to get the flu shot. A young girl in Indiana nearly died after getting a flesh-eating bacteria during a recent trip to Florida. It all started last week when 12-year-old Kylie Packer dipped her scuffed toe into the Gulf of Mexico. Within a day, she had a high fever and tremendous pain. After going to the ER, doctors found the flesh-eating bacteria in her calf.
They told us to come home and get clothes and phone chargers and get to Riley ER. So when we left the doctor's appointment, hearing that, I kind of started freaking out.
Doctors performed emergency surgery to remove the infection and to save her life and her leg. Kylie is now home and recovering, but she may never be able to walk normally again. Florida health officials say there is no danger to the public. Necrotizing fasciitis is a serious condition that usually begins with an existing infection or wound. It can lead to both sepsis and organ failure. The number of people abusing illegal drugs worldwide keeps climbing. A new study showed 217 million people abused drugs in 2017. That's up from 30% just 10 years ago. The United Nations found the majority of that increase came from a spike in opioid use, which went up by 56%. Researchers say a 10% population spike also contributed to the increase. Despite the growing problem, only 1 in 7 people abusing drugs are receiving treatment.